The truth of the matter is that we all went to bed one night and woke up the next morning, and our whole world looked dramatically different. It changed. And we're now on the edge of a new normal that is emerging. And sometimes the new normal comes swiftly in a matter of minutes or months, and other times it's inherited from a previous generation. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, the book of Joshua, the Israelites were steadily moving towards the promised place of God, with an unscheduled detour in Egypt because of a pandemic, a famine. They were now out of bondage, having wandered around in circles for 40 years, and were now on the edge of a flooding Jordan River, and their new normal was on the other side. So God says to Joshua, stay close to the Ark of the Covenant because you've never been this way before. And today God is saying to us, stay close to the presence of God. We have never been this way before. The river was at flood stage, but they had river crossing in their DNA. The last time they had to cross a river of major proportion, their parents crossed the Red Sea. That time, God moved the water and they saw their enemies behind them perish. This time, their leadership would have to put their feet in the water first before God would act to move the water. Their spiritual leaders would have to stay in the middle of the river while the whole nation crossed in front of them. And their enemies would be in front of them, not behind them. They were not given a pass. They would have to fight for this land. Beloveds, just because God worked things out one way in the past may not be the same way God will work it out this time. Do not hold God to a pattern. This is where we say together, any way you want to bless us, Lord, any way you want to heal us, Lord, any way you want to deliver us, Lord, lift us, Lord, help us, Lord, we will be satisfied. It's clear that God was looking for an investment from the people in their own rescue. The people would have to have the courage to put their feet in the water first before God moved. And the people would have to have the courage to follow the presence of God going where they had never been before. Their new normal meant they would have to fight for it. Is there anything worth fighting for these days? A new normal is emerging. We may have to adapt and spark adaptability in others. We may have to grab fear by the throat in prayer and trust where the presence of God leads us. We may have to go where we have never been to do what we have never done before. Because God never calls us to what we can do, but God calls us to what God can do through us. Follow God. We've never been this way before. Selah.